what's going on in China. China did not just get one earthquake, it did get two, a doublet. And when we hear the word doublet, we're thinking of the doublet in Venezuela. Well, the magnitude was not that high here in China, but destruction and the fear amongst the people and the videos that we're getting are quite crazy. And we do have structures that have collapsed, but that's not all. I mean, I have reported about the dam that broke and is still breaking, and tornadoes, lots of going on. I'll put it in the end screen, but southern Sichuan has now produced a focused earthquake sequence in the same small area. First a 5.5, then two magnitude 5.0 earthquakes in one morning, and then another 4.8 the next day. And all of them are landing around the same place. Gaoxian County, Yibin City, southern Sichuan, same county, same fault area, same shallow depth. And that's the line that makes it a little bit different. The first warning came on June 29th. And is this, or let's say no, what is this? Because there's something else going on. June 29th, magnitude 5.5 earthquake hit Gaoxian County at 12 minutes after midnight Beijing time. Epicenter 28.5 degrees north, 104 degrees and 69 east, depth only 6 kilometers. That's roughly 3.7 miles. And that's equal to the doublet 5.0 that just did all the damage that you see behind me while I'm talking. Same depth. That is shallow, guys. And that's why it caught my eyes. I'm like, what is this? Shallow earthquakes, of course, we know, and you see it here in the videos behind me, they hit harder near the surface because the energy has basically less rock to travel through before it reaches the buildings on top, right? The homes, the infrastructure, roads, slopes, villages. So it can cause more landslides, destruction, and collapse. So people felt it really, really strongly in Gaoxian and nearby Gongxian. We see in the videos, furniture is moving inside the homes, warning systems go on, people are going out of the buildings. Shaking was also felt in Yibin and even in Chengdu. That's far to the north of the epicenters, right? But that was not the end of it, I have to tell you. And remember, by July 1st, going a few days back, hundreds of aftershocks had already been recorded after the June 29th earthquake. And then today, same zone is moving again with a doublet earthquake. 6:12 in the morning Beijing time, magnitude 5.0 earthquake struck Gaoxian County, epicenter 28.52 degrees north, 104.68 degrees east, depth 8 kilometers, about 5 miles. And then within minutes, the ground kept cracking. Magnitude 3.1, magnitude 3.0, magnitude 3.4, magnitude 4.0, magnitude 3.2. And then came the part that also changed the whole sequence. At 10:08 in the morning, another magnitude 5.8 earthquake hit. And almost the same location again, 28.454 degrees north, 104.67 degrees east, depth 6 kilometers, about 3.7 miles. Same county, same fault area, same shallow depth. So the two magnitude 5, the doublet earthquake of July 8th, they were only about 2 to 3 kilometers apart, only 1 to 2 miles. So that means that tells us something, right? That means this was not just a random earthquake here and then a random earthquake somewhere else. That was the same small patch of southern Sichuan shaking repeatedly. So, and then July 9th, the sequence continued. Another magnitude 4.8 struck Gaoxian County at 7:44 in the morning Beijing time. 28.51 degrees north, 104.68 degrees east. Depth, again, 6 kilometers, 3.7 miles. What is going on down there at that depth? Shallow, right? So here I'm showing you all the coordinates again from June 29th, July 8th, first M5, July 8th, second M5, July 9th, 4.8. That's a cluster. And we can really say that's a very tight cluster. Basically, we can say that the epicenters are stacked in the same Gaoxian Yibin area. And with all the aftershocks, I hope they're aftershocks, not foreshocks, one thing keeps coming in shallow. The depth of these earthquakes varies between 6 to 8 kilometers, right? Between 3.7 to 5 miles. And that's why people are asking the obvious question, and that was my question when I saw it, right? Before I even started to do more research for this video, my question was, what is underneath Gaoxian? And I started to see if we get some reactions from locals, which is always not that easy to get it out of China. But I saw some people saying, well, there's something else going on. And I read their comments and I'm like, could this be? I'll tell you about this in a minute. The official expert answer that we're getting points towards the Huayingshan Fault Zone. So there is a fault zone. There is a potential culprit. As Sichuan earthquake experts said, the sequence is closer to the Huayingshan Fault Zone, and that southern Sichuan contains many fault structures and pre-existing faults. So that's an explanation. That means the ground under this part of Sichuan is basically not a simple block of rocks. It's basically how he describes it. It's folded, it's compressed, and it's already broken by older faults. So, and when that stress field changes in an area like this, yes, these old structures can start to move again. That's why same county, same fault area, same shallow depth, right? And I want to say that fault zone, the Huayingshan Fault Zone, is important because this has been studied. There are studies about this fault system, and they have already identified that the southern section is the main seismic active part. So that's the active part to focus on. And that's the Yibin area that it's standing out for more frequent earthquake activity. So that finding in a study matches what's actually happening there right now. So this is not an area in the middle of nowhere that never had an earthquake background, and we're suddenly starting to what is going on, right? Yibin has been on the map before, we cannot deny that. And the broader region also includes an earthquake that happened in 2019, the Changning earthquake sequence or cluster. That was also a very damaging magnitude 6 event that has raised, I have to say, major scientific questions about the stress release and these shallow faults in this area. But also, and here it comes, also the possible influence of underground industrial activity. I mean, magnitude 6, that's quite a number for activities. I mean, usually if we deal with fracking and stuff like this, this is not what this causes. So, but as I mentioned earlier, I've seen some Chinese people comment on something going on there, which is not fracking, that they think is causing this. So I'll tell you about it, but I want to make sure we don't want to create conspiracy theories here. We just, in my opinion, I just want to look at what I hear from locals, right? So let's have a look at that with an open mind. It does not prove that today's or July 8, July 9th Gaoxian sequence is caused by humans. But what I'm about to tell you might explain why people are suspicious, because southern Sichuan is not only tectonically stressed, it's also a region with shale gas development. It has salt formations, and it has old mining areas. It has reservoirs. It has a lot of tunnels, and it has really a major underground infrastructure. So when we see 3, we still have to say moderate from the magnitude, but you see what it caused with the people and the structures. If that hits almost the same coordinates like it does in less than 2 weeks, yes, people start asking whether like a dam work, tunnel work, mining, or fluid pressure played a role in this. And that question is fair. It's absolutely fair to ask that. But again, we need to handle that, or we need to handle the answer carefully. A tunnel does not simply create a magnitude 5 earthquake by itself. I mean, if you're building a new one and I don't know, you're blasting like crazy, still magnitude 5 is quite the number for that, right? Normal construction, blasting procedures, like tiny seismic signals, this is what we're dealing with if it's man-made, usually compared to a real earthquake, right? If we have magnitude 5, really that means a real fault slipped, a real loaded fault, a fault that was already under stress. So the question is, if it's already locked and loaded, sometimes we know San Andreas Fault branching out fault lines, smaller faults, all over the world with every fault can trigger a bigger fault, and then it can have like a domino effect. So question is there anything going on that could have triggered the last straw from that locked and loaded fault, right? Was this buried fault already close to failure, and did any underground pressure, like a tunnel, pressure chains, help push it over the edge? That's what scientists would need to test locally. They need to go there and they need to check that, right? And they would need the aftershock locations. We need the focal mechanisms of these earthquakes. Very, very important. We need the exact fault plane. We need the reservoir levels there. We do need tunnel and mining records. We need fluid injection history. And then we need to find out whether the earthquake locations migrate away from any industrial source, right? So without that, and it's probably hard to get, because if it's something that's man-made, will we hear about it? That's always the big question. I don't know. I don't want to say anything or allege anything, just a question that I'm raising. Nobody can honestly say right now this was caused by dam or tunnel work. But I think nobody should dismiss that question either, because it's a little bit suspicious and a little bit unusual. But again, southern Sichuan, I mean, it has already like these induced earthquake debates before. This is not new, right? And the damage is visible now. It's absolutely visible. I mean, you're watching the videos behind me. So after the July 8 quake, the doublet, local reports described minor injuries, people sent to hospitals, damaged homes, road rockfalls, road cracks, and a damaged public facility, schools with cracking and damages. That is the danger with shallow magnitude 5 earthquakes, and we've seen it in countries like Afghanistan or Turkey, other countries where they don't have really good structures. They have old structures, unenforced, no codes, masonry buildings. That can do a lot of damage at magnitude 5, especially if it's shallow and right underneath, right? Although they're not gigantic earthquakes, but if you're near the epicenter with your structure, they can hit very sharply, and especially older rural homes, they crack, the masonry walls, they fall. And we've seen it in Campi Flegrei, right, a 4.3. And they say Naples, anything 5.1 already. They say hundreds of thousands of people will be lost and the buildings will collapse. So it really depends which country. Of course, if that happens in Japan, well, probably not much will happen. But they're probably the best prepared country. So now they say, rocks can still fall from slopes. They need to inspect public buildings, especially schools. And then when the shaking repeats, should there be more aftershocks, then the risk grows that unstable structures might collapse. Like, again, I always say that a wall cracked by the first earthquake is weaker during the second one. And that was bad in Venezuela, by the way, right? If we have a slope that's loosened by the first earthquake, it may fall during the next aftershock. So there's a lot of damage still lurking. So thing is also, we have a lot of rain, we have typhoons coming. If rain arrives over cracked slopes or damaged roads, the earthquake quickly turns into a bad landslide problem. And southern Sichuan has steep terrain, river valleys, mountain roads, villages, and slope cuts, right? Add rain to this and water pressure, bad, 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 right? And we've seen in my last video the flood damage from the dam that broke. If you want to see this, it's in the end screen. Crazy, crazy pictures. I will watch this for you guys, and I keep you updated. So I hope I see you in a second. Leave a like, leave a hype, subscribe. Welcome to all our new subscribers, to all my new channel members. Thank you so much for all channel members that support this channel, and for all viewers that support it with your views, with your supers, with your coffee that you keep buying me on my Buy Me a Coffee site. Link is in the description. Thank you so much, guys. I really hope I see you there in a second. And if you have already seen that, go to my start page. There's so much to watch for you. Bye-bye.